Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm making a series of videos on right. These are important. This is gonna be an important series of videos you need to really pay attention to and watch. Okay, this essentially it's going to be about how to be a real estate wholesaler ethically. Okay, very important, but also not just how to be be ethical wholesaler. That's important, but also how to make a lot of money while you're doing it. Does that make sense? When I add that caveat, like how you can make a lot of money in wholesaling, so it's not kind of a downer. Okay, my old man's a realtor, and I got plenty of friends that are real estate agents, and they go to real estate school, take the classes, and all that stuff, and they don't learn a darn thing about how to make money in real estate. They just don't. They learn about how not to get sued. Okay, and you talk to them and like, hopefully I don't, go to jail. All these kinds of crazy things. Okay, and for me, that is, I just don't respond well to super negative. Don't go to jail. All those criminals, whatever shenanigans. Okay, that's a downer, right? You watch, you're like, well, gee, you can't do anything, right? So I want to be edifying in these videos because if you do this business right, you can number one protect yourself, right? But two, also make really good money because you're actually you're providing a wonderful service for other real estate investors. Does that make sense? Okay, so I just want you to keep that in mind. I'm going to say some kind of gnarly stuff, negative stuff, so to be careful about. But I'm always going to try and bring it back to, we can still, you can still really make money in this thing, and if you do it right, you're going to make even more money. Okay, you're going to have a very fulfilling, edifying business. Okay, does that make sense? So the whole concept of wholesaling is this. You the deal is being able to get a piece of property and assign it to somebody else. You guys, if you study anything about wholesale, you know about that, right? That's the gist of it. You get on the contract, and you have the ability, because of the clauses and or signs, you then you assign your equitable interest to your cash buyer. Okay, that's kind of the concept. It's people have been doing it for a long time. Assignments, it's no secret. The reason why, though, I'm making this video is because this whole concept of wholesaling has been really democratized over the years. Okay, especially with the advent of and the proliferation of YouTube videos and TikTok and stuff like that, and even Facebook groups. That these people out there, they have a course. They're trying to, like, hey, you have no money, no job. All you gotta do is get a house on the contract, and it's real easy, and you make 20 grand, and here's a story. I used to live out of my car, all these problems, and this, and no, I'm driving this, Lamborghini. See it, and you can too. And it's by this thing, right? And so they really prey on people who really are struggling, and they want something better in their life, and they think, well, gee, I could just do a few simple steps, and I can make a whole bunch of money in real estate. Okay, well, the reality is, you can make a lot of money in real estate, certainly. Okay, but you've got to do it right, and if you don't, okay, you really can open yourself up to some real thorny legal issues. Okay, so and because of this democratization of real estate wholesaling, there's certain places that have, that piss some people off, that they in government, that they've actually outlawed it, whatever, and you have to get a license, or you have to do realtor, whatever, that kind of thing. And the reason why they're not randomly making these laws, they're doing it because there's a proliferation of people out there as a wholesaler, and they're really muddying the water for everybody who's really legit. Does that make sense? Okay. So you really got to be, I'm saying there's no good people in this industry. I've been doing this a long time, and I'll tell you what, I met a lot of wonderful people in this business, and I met a lot of rascals, and I met a lot of evil criminals in this business. I just have. Okay, and that's not good, right? Just like any industry, you got an auto mechanic. It's a classic. All right, I took it out of the mechanic. He overcharged me and all that kind of stuff. My brother-in-law is an auto mechanic, and that guy is honest as day is long, but he'll charge you money, right? But you get what you get what you pay for. I mean, you get good product. Does that make sense? Okay. Or contractors. Good golly, I can tell you story after horror story after horror story about contractors. You give them a bunch of money and they don't do the work, or you half-ass work, so you got to hire somebody else to fix the problem. All these kinds of things. Are all contractors like that? No, obviously, right? So not all real estate investors are bad either. Not all real estate wholesalers are bad. So I want to talk to you about how important this is, okay? To do it right, and in so doing, how you can make a lot of money. Okay, so this is what I want you to understand. If you're going to be a real estate wholesaler, okay, what you are is a problem solver. And you want to hit pause and write this down. This is important, okay? Just forget real estate, forget all the lingo, all that kind of stuff. You are a problem solver, okay? And this is what you're doing and how you're going to get paid. You have sellers who want to sell their home, okay? Because they're in a bad spot in their life, okay? Think about it. People don't sell homes every day. Do you sell? Have you sold your home, randomly? No. I mean, that's a major life decision, right? Something's driving this person to sell their home. They want to move. They got bankruptcy coming up. They got divorce. They got illness. They got to pay for hospice. I don't know, pay for college tuition, whatever it is. It's a big deal, right? So you want to be a real estate wholesaler has to be a problem solver for sellers. And this is marketing. It's people skills. It is helping people understanding their problem, proffering a solution. Okay, that's the first thing. The second part that's just equally as important is realizing as a wholesaler, you are a problem solver for your cash buyers. When you're rehabbing 20 houses a month or more, or you're building, 20, 30 homes at a time, you're so busy with your contractors, with permits, with drywall, with just all the subs, everything, all this kind of thing, that your marketing is, you don't have time for that kind of marketing. So you really rely on, speaking from as a cash buyer, a flipper, or a new construction guy, I'm always looking for somebody who can help me with the marketing part. Does that make sense? Because that part suffers in my business. Okay. So, that's the way it is. So a wholesaler, a genuinely good wholesaler, is an integral part of the business model of a flipper, a new construction guy. Does that make sense? You have to know their business model. So a good wholesaler knows what the cash buyer is looking for. Okay. They know what he's looking for. And two, they know what his rehab costs are. Okay. I can't tell you how many times you get calls. Hey, I got this house on contract. Well, what's the rehab? Well, I don't know. It's kind of, I bought this thing online. It's some spreadsheet trying to explain how things work. And they don't have any idea. They're not from a construction background, and they don't know any. They have no idea about what the cash buyers actually are going to spend on the rehab, right? And that's a real challenge, because you got to know those numbers. Because if you're a real estate wholesaler, whose money are you going to be investing? Not yours. Your cash buyers. Okay, so you have to treat that money like it's yours. It's very, very, very important. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, because if you don't, you screw this up. Who takes the loss? Not you, right? Your cash buyer does, and you don't want to do that. That's not a good way to have a business relationship with them. Okay, or worse, right? So you want to know what their business model is. Some guys can do roofs super cheap. I know guys that they were roofers and then they got into flipping houses. Kind of the segue if they're first doing. So I tell you what, those guys can spank anybody doing roofs because they know how to do it. They've been doing roofs for 30 years, right? Right. So does that make sense? Or windows, whatever it is. So you want to know a rehabber is a wholesaler is gonna understand what the cash buyers business model is, and then give them product, connect the dots. Does that make sense? So that's how you do it right, and this is how you're going to make money, okay? Cash buyers are always looking for product, especially when they're flippers, okay? They've got $4 million. They got to cycle around every single, every 6 months, every 3 months, whatever, however, especially the more they have, always, every month they're going to buy properties, right? So they need inventory, okay? So a cash buyer, that's they're always looking for stuff. So a good rehabber is going to make a lot of money because all they're going to do is just take your, I always like to say this, it's a great analogy, take your little caboose and hook it up to their big old choo-choo train, and you're going to start making money. They're going to be cranking out money. They'll just be writing you checks because they, cash buyers, they have a successful business model that works. If you're starting out as a wholesaler, you don't have a successful business model. You don't even have a business model, maybe, right? But if you can plug into what works, giddy up. You can make a lot of money in this business and hoard cash. Behave yourself. Don't, well, I got 20 grand here, go to Vegas and put it on red kind of thing. All right. It's tempting to do when you're first starting. Wow, I've never made this kind of money before. It's fantastic. Wow, I got 20 grand's nothing. Okay. Just behave yourself, and then you can grow. Once you have a nest egg, when you have some cash, save 3 or 4, you do that for 20 grand a month, 40 grand a month, you do that for a year. I mean, $500,000, that's pretty strong amount of money you could segue into other real estate stuff. Does that make sense? Okay. Well, this is the danger though. So I just kind of explained to you a really solid business model if you're starting out to make money in real estate and how you can be successful. Okay. And how you're going to be ethical. Okay. And how you're going to thrive in this business. Many people, though, for whatever reason, get into wholesaling, and number one, they do not have a good sense of business. They don't know anything about business, okay? And if you don't know anything about business, okay, being a real estate wholesaler, I'm going to tell you right now, is not for you, okay? This is a business. This isn't just you talk to Joe who's got a house that needs some work, and you get on the contract and you find a buyer, and then you make 20 grand. That's not what this is at all. Okay. That reeks of unprofessionalism. That's not. And if you do that, you give everybody a bad name, and you're opening yourself up to all manner of legal issues, thorny legal issues, expensive legal issues that you do not want. Okay. You have to treat this as a professional business. If you got no money, okay, and you watch some video, some guy on TikTok, hey, I got no money, no job, who cares? Just watch this, and you can do it. And there's an ebook I got for free. Put your email here, and you can make 20 grand. Listen, okay, yeah, you make 20 grand, but you have to know business. You have to work hard, okay? You can't just casually do this where you're going to school full time in college, trying to make an extra 40 grand a month. That's not how this works. Okay. It's not a casual deal. You just kind of randomly meet a seller and a buyer, connect and make it. No. Does it happen? Yeah. People win the lottery too, right? But that's not how you want to treat this. You have to treat this as a business. If you want to start a lawn mowing business, you can't just borrow some dude's lawnmower and start randomly mowing lawns and hopefully, whatever, right? That's not how it works. You have to have a business plan. You have to understand people. You got to buy equipment. Do some marketing, all that kind of stuff, right? Lawnmower, cleaning company, it doesn't matter. Okay, you have to treat this as a business. If you don't treat it as a business, you will fail. So you have to number one be a business person. If you don't understand what I mean by being a business person, for pity's sake, read some books on how to be a businessman, a businesswoman. Okay, there's no shortage of books out there. Great motivational books about how to think and how to structure stuff. But understand business. Okay, this is what this is. This is a business. You have to be able to be professional. Okay, and you have to be a problem solver. That's the first thing. Okay, treat it as a business. Okay, the second thing is you need to understand real estate. You really need to wrap your mind around it. So instead of just binge watching, how to real estate, be a real estate wholesaler, that's important. And you can learn everything you need to do on the internet. You really can, especially right now. Okay. Take notes. I learned about short sales doing that. Literally just videos over and over and over again. And there wasn't a whole bunch of videos at the time. I did it 15 years ago. But watch, took notes, rewind, So I got good at it, right? On that particular strategy. So my point is, you can get that information on the internet, but you want to you want to understand how real estate works. So wholesaling is important, but what is real estate? How does it work? I mean, all these different things, right? Real estate's important. What deeds are, how real estate deals are done. What's so you find a distressed property. What's the point of it all? Yeah, you get it. You get under contract. You sign to a rehab. What does the rehabber do with it? Well, he's going to fix it up. Then what's he going to do? Well, he's going to sell it to an end user. Well, how does that work? Do you know anything about that? Well, no. Well, you ought to get to know the cash. Your cash buyer business model. Understand how it works. Understand how loans work. Understand what people, end user buyers are looking for. Understand what kind of loans are out there. Right? There's different kinds of loans for different kinds of people who want to buy a property. Okay, is it a government-backed loan? Probably is. Chances are. What kind of government-backed loan? VA, USDA, FHA, right? Maybe. You see what I'm saying? Understand how all that works, okay? Because it's going to help you have a big picture understanding of how how you can be a real estate professional, okay? Really, really, really important. Also, when you talk to other real estate professionals, okay, what I mean by that is I mean by other real estate investors, okay, or other real estate, like realtors, retail realtors, they're going to say a lot of lingo, and you're not going to know what the hell they're talking about, okay, because you haven't studied it, okay. I mean, I hang out with especially guys doing commercial stuff. Like that's never been I've never been into it. Not that it's bad. It's not bad. It's just not my deal, right? Just like I'm not a auto mechanic. Can you make money? Yeah, it's just not interesting to me, right? Okay. I like airplanes. I like flying airplanes. I like residential real estate. Okay. I like theology. A bunch of stuff I like, but who cares? The point is, when you're in an environment in this real estate, you're going to hear a lot of people using, shop talk or lingo that you're not familiar with, or code or whatever, speaking in different kinds of code. What does that mean? And so if the more you know about real estate, the more you can understand what they're saying, maybe learn from them, and the more you learn in this business, the more money you can make, right? Because you're not limited by a very, very, very narrow strategy and, buy low, sell high, wholesale. Does that make sense? Okay. So here's the down thing. If this is the bad thing. I'm trying to show you how you can really make money on this business. But if the takeaway from being a wholesaler is you go out and you talk to a seller, and you go, hey, seller, okay, well, I'm a wholesaler, I'm gonna go try and find a buyer, and if I don't, then I'll have to cancel the contract. That is wrong on so many levels. It's unethical, and it's borderline. I'm not an attorney. I'm not going to give you legal advice here at all. But I've done this a long time. You get busted for practicing real estate without a license. Department of Finance gets involved. Department of Real Estate Commission, that kind of thing. You don't want that. Okay, you're not practicing real. You number one have to, when you go into any deal, okay, you have to be able to fund that deal. Well, I mean, money. Well, if you don't have any money and you don't know how to get money, you know what I'm going to tell you right now? Either find money or get a different job. Do something different, okay? Because this business presupposes deep pockets. Now, you don't have to have the deep pockets yourself, but you need to have access to it. There's a lot of ways to get it. You can get transactional funding, okay? Transactional funding is where there's plenty of money out there. People like they'll fund deals very quickly, as long as they have it's a true ABC transaction, right? A to B, you and the seller. That's A to B. You're B, by the way, and your C buyer is Fred Flintstone, the rehabber. Okay. Well, if your lender knows that Fred Flintstone's got the cash, okay, they will lend. They'll look at Fred Flintstone's purchase contract between you and him, right? And Fred's financials, Flintstone's financials, and all that stuff. And then they'll be able to fund it because they know that they're going to get their cash back. It's be a quick deal, but they're going to charge you points, 3 points, whatever, $3,000-4,000. Okay. Not very cheap, but it works if you have to. So that's important, okay, to know you have that as a backup. Okay, so when you write offers, you know that you can fund them. If you go into a deal and you've got no way to fund it yourself because you're broke, okay, and you don't have any cash buyers, any partnerships you've engendered with, okay, you're asking for trouble because you can't actually perform in that contract because you're entering into a legally binding purchase and sale agreement telling the seller, I will buy your home. Well, if you don't have two pennies to rub together, how are you going to fund that deal? You're not. So no, are you lying to that guy or deceiving them, the seller? Okay, two, you know, you're saying you could, do something you can't do illegally. I mean, you can't execute that contract. Okay, and that's not a good place to be when you're writing contracts you can't fulfill, right? What do we do then? Well, what you do then, you be a professional. Like I told you at the very beginning of this video, meet with your cash buyers, get to know their business model, know that what they're looking for. So when you're looking at 536 Birch Street, you can call Fred Flintstone up and say, hey, Fred, I got this deal, dude. Just like you do at 123 Main Street, same exact square footage, same age. Those $6,500 cabinets you put in that Jorge built for you, that lives out of his basement, his mom's basement, whatever, right? So you speak with authority, you know that Flintstone's going to fund the deal, right? Why? Because you know Flintstone's business model. So his cash, he's going to underwrite your stuff. Does that make sense? Okay. So whenever you get a property in a contract, you say, me and my partners, okay? Who are your partners? Your partners are your cash buyers. Or if you have to use transactional funding, you're going to use your transactional funding. There's nothing wrong with that. It's kind of expensive, but have I done it before? Yeah, sure have. It's okay. If the numbers work, they don't work, don't use transactional funding. But whenever you get a deal on the contract, you have to be prepared to fund it, okay? You just do. And if you don't, you're being lazy, okay? You're being lazy. And when you do that, you're being unethical to the seller because you don't have the way to, but they're trusting you, okay, that you're going to purchase this house and you don't have any intention to, or you're just in a crapshoot. Gee, hopefully I'll find a buyer, right? And that's not good to do. Okay, you've got to find a good buyer. Not hard to do if you ask, do the research, meet, network with them. Okay. The second thing is equitable interest. If you don't have equitable interest in this property, what I mean by that is earnest money. Okay. And the seller finds a different buyer. Okay. Let's say you get a house on a contract, and if your earnest money, you put down $2. Okay. And then I've been doing this since mid-90s. I knock on the guy's door. Hey, I like to buy your house. And he does, doesn't maybe disclose that that you and him have already done business, and I offer a little bit more money or whatever. I'm way more professional than you because I know what I'm talking about. You get it, right? And I have property under contract, and I give him, $5,000 earnest money, whatever. Who do you think? And he goes to me, and you go, oh, that's stupid. I'm gonna take you to court. Who do you think the judge is going to go with? He might go with you, but is that a risk you want to take? I mean, my attorney would be like, look, dude. Oh, did I just say attorney? Yeah, that's expensive. Yeah, because by the way, people use attorneys in this business. Okay, you got to be prepared to, this is big money here. Okay, my attorney is going to argue, dude, my client has equitable interest and the ability to fund. This guy here he doesn't have any money to fund. He tried to say equitable interest was $1, $2. Who do you think the judge is going to side with? I'm going to ask you one more time. Who do you think the judge is going to side with? You put $2 of earnest money because that you saw in some video, or a professional who has the funds who's going to put $5,000? It won't be non-refundable. Refundable, whatever. Non-refundable after the inspection. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm not trying to say I'm cool, you suck. That's not the point of this video. But I'm just trying for you to understand, like, you've got to have equitable interest. Now, there's ways to get around instead of having to have your equitable interest be non-refundable when you lose money. No, you can have it released after inspection contingency. But again, you have to be ready to fund this. You have to be prepared to do this, okay? You really do. If you're not, you're going to struggle. And worse, right? You don't want to get in the wrong side of the law on this one, okay? So this is all for right now on this part, the first part of the series on how to be an ethical, real estate wholesaler, and also how to make a lot of money. So I hope you like this. Listen, okay, if this is overwhelming to you, watch the video again. Don't have it. If you need help, let me know. Okay, don't overthink it. Don't worry. If you want some mentorship, whatever, give me a call and we'll walk you through this step by step. You can do this. Okay, just you want to be a real estate professional. Okay, if you're a professional real estate wholesaler, you can make a lot of money if you do it ethically. Okay, so give me a call or send an email, whatever, and we'll talk and we'll walk you through it. Talk to you soon.